Hey guys, so today I just wanted to do a simple tutorial. I wanted to do something with both blush and bronzer. I wanted to let you guys know what it is, what it does, things like that for those who are really new to makeup. So, first things first, blushes can come in different types. They can come in as powders, like this. And powders usually have um, sort of like a powdery finish, I guess you could say. This one's like really shimmery. Not powders, blushes can also come in creams such as the NARS, the Multiple, and it has a finish like this. I'll put another finger. Depending on how much you put on it, if you can see that, depending on how much you do put on it, um, the more noticeable it will be, the more dramatic. Also, blushes also come in cheek stains. This one is by Tarte, and this color is Blissful. This is what it looks like. Usually cheek stains are more sheer, but you can build up the coverage. This is the color. If you can see that. Yeah. Okay. So this is Tarte. This was the MAC Skin Finish, and this was NARS. So, um, blushes can come in a whole range of colors, finishes, things like that. It really depends on what you like. I'd say definitely try more than one blush if you can, like trial. You don't have to buy a whole bunch of blushes just to see which one you like. But if you can try them, that would be great because you can find out, whether or not you want like a stain that'll last all day, or like a cream if you have like dry skin. Any skin type can usually wear a cream blush. You just gotta be careful how much you put on. Powders universal for anyone. Um, if you have a really light skin tone, try not to go too deep for your blush color, because the lighter you are, the more the blush will show up on your skin. If you have a really deep skin tone, you're not gonna want to get a blush that's really light. See, this is a really light blush. This is a light pink color. I mean, you can get a light pink color if you want. It's up to you, but if you do get a light color and you do have a really deep skin tone, you're gonna have to really build up the color. So that's just one warning if you get a really light color. Okay, so depending on what you want your blush to do, if you're going to have a really long day and you really don't want to have to touch up your blush, cheek stains are really good because they will just stay there all day long. So I've used the Tarte Blissful blush and I really do like it. I mean, you do have to use your fingers or a sponge or stuff like that. I recommend using your fingers only because it's has a better application. Whereas I've used a sponge, and it just got more product in the sponge than it did on my face. So you can also swipe the actual product, along your cheek, and you can do that. But the thing is, if you have foundation on, the foundation will get on top of your product, and it's gonna really tweak the color a little bit. So it's up to you whether or not what you like, but I definitely do recommend using your fingers because it's a better application. Now for cream blushes as well. Um, for my NARS blush, I usually sweep it on my cheek and then I blend it out with my fingers, and I found that that actually works just fine. If you want, you can use a cream blush brush or your fingers or whatever you want to use. With powders though, I do not recommend using your fingers. I've used my fingers. I didn't really get a good application to my cheeks. You can if you want, if you have nothing else to use. I would say that would be last resort for me. But definitely use a blush brush for powders, especially, stuff like this. Just so you can get even application, um, you know, uh, depending on what you want to do. If you want it darker or lighter, I'd recommend using a blush brush. Okay, so today I want to also talk about bronzers before I start using stuff. I have here, you guys all know, I have this Rimmel bronzer. This is color 022 in Sun Bronze. I am actually quite surprised. I've had this for a long time and I have not even hit pan. I use this, well, recently I've been using this every day, and it still has the design. As you can see, it's like a sun in the middle, and I still have, the design is still there. I use this every day for like right now, and this is really long lasting. If you want something worth your money, this is it. Now, not everyone is going to like this color. Some people might, people might not. But if you want to spend a cheaper price than going to like a Sephora or a MAC or any other counter, definitely get this by Rimmel. They have like 3 other shades, I believe, but this is the only one I have, and this has lasted me a long time, and it works great. So, alright, so now I'm going to give you guys a little tutorial. What I usually do, I start with my bronzer first. I found that it's better to apply bronzer first than your actual color blush, only because it gives a more natural looking finish. It doesn't look as obvious. So that's what I do. I take a angled blush brush. I have this angled blush from Sephora, and I got it in this little pack. It has like a powder brush, 2 eyeshadow brushes, and a lip brush. So what I do with the bronzer, I take my brush and I dip a little bit inside the pan, not like too much, just like that much is fine. Now with your bronzer, you're going to want to take it underneath your cheekbone, which is like right here. Like your cheekbone is going to have like a it's going to have like a little like a rounded part. So right underneath is where you can put your bronzer, and it's like where your ear is basically, and you're just going to want to like sweep down like this. So you're going to place your bronzer here, and you're going to kind of just sweep it on in little strokes first, and then you're going to pull towards your mouth. So you can see that. So that's what your bronzer is going to look like. And you can fade out the tops and bottoms with the bottom and top of your brush. It just depends what you'd like. But it's going to give a little bit of a contour to your cheeks. It's going to make it look like your face has more of a shape. So I like using bronzer only because it gives more of like a sophisticated look to my face. So you're just going to do the same thing to the other side of your face. Start near towards the ear, use little strokes, and pull towards your mouth. Now it's going to look a little bit edgy or a little bit harsh right now, but when you do put on your blush, it's really going to help to fade out a little bit of the bronzer you put on. So I'll zoom in for you guys so you can see. Oh, I can't zoom in. Okay. Alright, so I'll move it close. So that's what it looks like here and on the other side as well. So it's going to give your face a little bit more of a definition. So if you like that, you definitely use bronzer. Obviously, you don't have to use bronzer. This is not a required step. This is just for those who like getting a little bit more definition to your face and contouring. People who like contouring and things like that. Okay, so next is actually the blush, and the blush that I'm using is by MAC, and I recently got this. I think it was like a couple weeks ago, and I really do like it. You can use this over a blush you have on, or you can use this as your blush by itself. I really like this because it gives a nice sheen look to your face, if I can say that. It really makes it look like you're glowing, and it's really nice. So what I do, because there's two sides to this, as you can see, there is a darker side here, and it gets lighter. So what I do, I start from the darker side, and I kind of just pat the brush along. I just pat the brush along the powder, and then it looks like it's a lot on the brush, but when you put it on, it's really not that much. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start near the apples of your cheeks, and then you're gonna sweep it back towards the top of your ear. Now you can put as much or as little as you want, but I think this color, the way it is on here, I think it looks really nice. And then you're just going to do the same thing to your other cheek. So again, you're going to start close to the apples of your cheeks, and then you're going to pull back towards the top of your ear. And then you can just touch up if you need more or less. So it kind of gives a little bit, if you can see that it's like it's shiny, but it's not like oily shiny, if that makes sense. And it just gives a nice like brightening up to your face. So that's it for blush. It's really easy. It's really simple. You can add or subtract from whatever you like to do. And I really do suggest trying different blushes out if you can, just to see what you like and what you think you'll use. Don't get a blush that you're not going to use because it will just sit in your drawer. Trust me. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, like usual, please comment below, and don't forget to rate and to subscribe to me. Thanks guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.